Hi friends, today we are going to see identifying roles and responsibilities in Microsoft Azure. In last video also we covered this topic, but today we are going to cover the RASI matrix, the project management tools, how we can use the project management tool to identify and assign the roles and responsibility to the respective stakeholders in Azure Cloud project. As we all know, in Azure, we implement all the roles based on RBAC, role-based access control. So we need to implement the principle of least privilege. As a solution architect, as a Azure solution architect, it is our responsibility to implement the zero trust framework to protect, secure all the cloud resources. So we need to implement the principle of least privileges. Instead of granting owner or contributor access widely, we should not provide owner access or contributor access at the management level to a lot of peoples. So we should restrict the this kind of privileged admin roles to only fewer people in a project. So we can create custom roles and we can assign those custom roles to resource group level, subscription or management group level. As we know, there are almost three or four fundamental roles available. One is owner, contributor, reader, and user access administrator. So this owner role should be reserved for account managers, delivery managers, project managers. So we should assign this owner role at the subscription level or at the management group level to the top level people who are managing the project. Like architect, account managers, delivery managers, like those. That contribution role, contributor role, with using the contributor role, the user can create and manage all the resource type. If you assign the contributor role to a particular user, he can create, manage, delete. He can do whatever he want, except assigning permission to other people. So we should assign the contributor role to platform engineers and application engineers and software developers. Mostly we assign the contributor role to platform engineers and application engineers. Reader role. With the help of reader role, we can view all the resources, but we can't make any changes and we cannot assign roles to other users. Reader role primarily used for providing read access, view only access to the people who are monitoring the cloud resources. For example, we can provide the reader roles to auditors who are going to just monitor or view the logs, monitor the resources. User access administrator. This user access administrator role can be assigned to IAM team, Identity Access Management team. IAM team responsible for creating the user accounts, managing the user account, and providing access to the other people. So we can assign this user administrator roles to IAM engineers. And then we have Java functional roles are specific roles like virtual machine contributor, keyword, secret user, like this. If you look at the recommended strategy for assigning RBAC role to people working in a project, we have roles like reader, resource specific roles are custom roles and contributor role and owner role. Scope we have subscription, resource group and resources. So we need to assign the reader role to the observers like auditors or the L1 who are just monitoring the cloud resources or who need to just view the cloud resources. For those kind of people, we just provide the reader access at the subscription level or resource group level or the resource level. So we can assign the resource specific role like storage blob contributor role or a keyword administrator role. These are resource specific roles. So we can assign that these kind of resource specific roles to users who are managing the resources like platform engineers, application engineers, or developers, software developers, or project lead. So who are all managing the resource in Azure cloud, we need to provide the role specific, resource specific roles and custom roles. And also we can assign contributor roles to these people who are managing the resources. Who are managing means they are going to create, configure and managing it. So for people managing the resources, we can assign role, resource specific roles, custom roles and contributor roles at the subscription level or resource group level and resource level. But the recommended strategy is always assign the resource specific roles, custom roles, contributor roles at the resource group level instead of the subscription level. And then owner role. So always assign the owner role to the admins like people like account managers, cloud architect, delivery managers, like them. RASI matrix. If you are working in a project, if you are working in cloud project, project, Azure cloud implementation project, we will use a RASI matrix. RASI it is a project management tool used to clearly define roles and responsibility for each task are deliverable in a project. With the help of RASI matrix, it helps to avoid confusion about who is doing what and ensure accountability. So most of the Azure solution architect, account managers, project managers, they will use this tool to identify the roles, assign the roles to ensure accountability. RASI, responsible, accountable, consulted and informed. In the RASI matrix, responsible means the person or team who is doing the work, the person who is going to provision the cloud environment, who is going to deploy the cloud resources, creating VMs, creating apps, creating databases. The team who is going to work on the cloud project. It may be two people or three people or a team. So there must be a multiple responsible role in a cloud project. Example, Azure admin. As Azure admin should be responsible for the managing the all the resources. Azure admin will deploy the resource, they will configure it. When there is no need for the resource, they will clean up the resources. They will check the cost. They will assist the project team. So there must be a multiple responsible person who is working in the cloud project. Accountable. The person who owns the task and is answerable for this completion. Accountable may be delivery manager, project manager. They are all accountable. They are accountable for the project progress. They will update project, how the project is going on, how much is completed, what are the tasks pending. They need to report this status, project status to the clients. So accountable means the person who owns the task and answerable for the completion of the cloud project. So there should be only one person accountable for the task. For example, there is a task like provisioning a 20 prod servers. The task should be accountable to delivery manager or project manager. There will be multiple account manager, there will be multiple project managers, delivery managers, but only one person should be accountable for this activity. Like cloud architect approving the design. So responsible role should be allocated to multiple person. Accountable role should be assigned to single person. Third is consulted. So the account manager or the project manager, delivery manager, they will consult with the subject matter expert. So here the consultant means it is subject matter expert, SME. This SME, they will provide the input or guidance to implement the project. It is a two-way communication. Delivery managers, project managers, they will keep on consulting with the subject matter expert for the guidance, for the inputs. Like security engineers or cloud architect, subject matter expert, they will provide input to the delivery managers and project managers. So the consultant role will provide input or guidance to the accountable person. Accountable person will manage the team who are all responsible. The fourth is informed. People who need update or communication about the progress. It is a one-way information only. It is like BU head or account managers. BU head always get update from the accountable person. BU head, vice president or project head, they should be informed. They will keep on updated. If you look at the benefit of RASI matrix, it helps to clarify the expectation. Who will be accountable for specific role? Who will do the work? Who will be consulted? Who will be updated? Who will run the project? It will provide a clear expectation. It will remove the confusion and overlaps. If you define the RASI matrix based on the cloud project requirement, we can remove the confusion and overlap. It will improve accountability. So there is a organization structure will be there, project structure will be there. Who's accountable? Who's responsible? Who's consulted? Who is informed? We have a well-defined role for all the people who are involved in the cloud project. It will improve accountability. It will improve the speed up the decision making process. So there will be a streamlined communication between the all the stakeholders in a cloud project. It will define the ownership of the task. This RASI matrix will be helpful for large scale cloud project or cross functional teams, cloud implementation, large scale cloud implementation in Azure and AWS. So this is a sample template for RASI matrix. We have seen activity, activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, activity 4, and then responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. It is a matrix table. Here we can see. So we have task, activity, and role. Activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, activity 4, activity 5, and then role 1, role 2, role 3, role 4, and role 5. For the activity 1, like deploying 50 prod servers, we have to define the responsible person who is going to deploy the VMs. And then we have to define the accountable person who is going to be accountable, who is going to monitor the project implementation, project manager, delivery managers, who will be consulted, subject matter expert, solution architect, who will be informed, account manager, BU head, for the activity like implementing security policies to protect all the cloud resources, implementing different of our cloud apps, implementing like CNAP, Cloud Native Apps Production Platform, CWPP, Cloud Workload Production Platform, CSPM, Cloud Security Posture Management. So implementing the security for all the cloud resources, we have to define who's the responsible person, who is the accountable person, who is the consultant, who will be informed. Like also for the activity 3, activity 4, activity 5. For each and every activity, we should assign the RASI matrix for respective stakeholders. For example, for the designing the Azure network, who will be responsible? Network engineer. Azure network engineer will be responsible for designing the cloud network, Azure network design. Who will be accountable? Cloud admin, cloud administrator. They will be accountable. Who will be consulted? Security engineer should be consulted. Who will be informed? Project manager will be informed. For creating subscription, if you are going to, there is a requirement from the client to create 50 Azure subscription. Who will be responsible? Like maybe cloud administrator will be responsible, or Azure architect will be responsible. Who will be accountable? Cloud administrator, a cloud architect. Who will be informed? Project manager. Setting up the RBAC roles. Azure architect will be responsible. Security engineer will be accountable. A solution engineer or security engineer will be accountable, and cloud admins will be or cloud architect will be consulted. Project manager informed. If you are working in a cloud project, multiple people will be working there, like database administrator, cloud administrators, software engineers, networking, quality assurance, DevOps engineers. These are the people, these are the roles involved in cloud project implementation, Azure cloud implementation. So we have to clearly define the roles and responsibility for each and every person. We have to define the roles and responsibility for database admin. We have to define roles and responsibility for cloud admin, for software engineers, DevOps engineers, quality engineers, and networking people. So if you look at this RASI role matrix, here we have activities or tasks like database management, application deployment and testing, environment provisioning and maintenance, and networking, subscription management. Here we have the roles: software engineer, database administrators, cloud administrators, software engineers, DevOps engineers, QA testers, network engineers. So if you look at the environment provisioning and management and maintenance, it will be allocated to cloud administrators. So cloud administrator will be responsible for environment provisioning and maintenance. The cloud admins will provision the VMs, they will maintain the VMs, they will monitor the VMs. The cloud admins will be responsible for financial management and subscription. So they will be responsible for environment governance, like implementing tagging, Azure logs, Azure policies. So cloud admin will be responsible for implementing the governance tools, and cloud admin will be responsible for the user provisioning also and defining the standard. If you look at the application deployment and testing, who will be responsible? DevOps team will be responsible. They will be responsible for code deployment and repo management. DevOps team will be responsible for test automation and management. So who will be monitoring test result? It will be responsible for QA testers. So if you look at the networking, the firewall, port management, DNS mapping, it will be handled by the network engineers, Azure network engineers. So if you look at the security monitoring and oversight, it will be handled by cloud administrators. This database management activity will be handled by database administrator. So if you design a RASI roles matrix and define the each and every role like this: application deployment and testing, environment provisioning and maintenance, networking, security, subscription management. If you define the roles and assign the roles to respective people, who is responsible, who is accountable, who is consulted, who is informed. If we define the roles based on the RASI roles matrix, we can clearly run the project. So if you look at this RASI roles matrix, here you can see user provisioning will be done by user access administrator, who will be the cloud administrator. Let us see how we are going to use the RASI matrix in implementing the Azure project. We will use the RASI matrix in implementing Azure project, Azure cloud projects. Let us consider the, let us take a look at the roles. C a cloud architect, A Azure administrator, S is software engineer, N E network engineers, D A DevOps engineers, P M project manager, A O application owner. So if you look at the task and roles, like here we have task and activities. We have almost 16 activity and task, and we have the roles here: cloud architect, Azure admin, security engineers, network engineers, DevOps engineers, project managers, and application owners. So information gathering is the first step in implementing the Azure cloud project. So who will do this activity? Information gathering. Information gathering will be done by the Azure admin. He will be responsible. Azure admin will be responsible for gathering the information. Who is accountable? Cloud architect will be accountable because he is going the one going to manage the project. Who should be consulted? Security engineers. So when we are gathering the information for a cloud project, security engineers should be consulted. So he will provide input on the security part. What are the security policies? How to implement the security? He will provide input. Who is consulted? Network engineer also, and then DevOps engineers. And who is responsible? Project manager is responsible. So here there are two people: project manager and Azure admin are responsible for gathering the requirements. Who is accountable? Cloud architect. Who is consulted? Security engineers, network engineers, DevOps engineers, and application owners. Task number 2: landing zone architecture. So who will design the landing zone architecture? It will be responsible for the project manager. The project manager will be responsible for designing the landing zone architecture. Who is the accountable? Cloud architect will be accountable. Who will be consulted? Azure admin, security engineer, network engineer, network engineer, and then DevOps engineer. Who will be informed? Application owner. So who will be responsible? So when we kickstart the project, first we will get the update from project manager. They will provide the landing zone architecture. Then cloud architect will use that, get the input from project manager, and he will consult with Azure admin, security engineer, network engineer, DevOps engineer. Task number 3: subscription and management group setup. So who will be responsible? Azure admin will respond. He is going to create the management group structure. He will create the root management group, and then he will create the child management groups. He will create the management group architecture, and he will move the subscription to the management groups. So who will be responsible for the subscription and management group setup? Azure admin will be responsible. Who is accountable? Cloud architect will be accountable. Who will be consulted? Project manager should be consulted, because project manager, no, he is designing the landing zone architecture. So if you consult with the project manager, he will clearly define how many resource groups should be created and where we put the subscription into the in which management group. Who will be informed? Here, subscription management group setup, security engineers, network engineers, DevOps engineers should be informed, and also application owners. Now, activity number 4: RBAC and identity configuration, enter ID, IAM activities. So who will be responsible? Azure admin will be responsible. So who is accountable? These are all security related items. So security engineer will be accountable. Who should be consulted? Cloud architect. Who should be informed? Network engineer, DevOps engineer, project manager, and application owners. Task number 5, network design, VNet, subnet, peering. This network design, network architecture, who will be responsible? Network engineer. Who is the accountable? It is also network engineer. Who will be consulted? Cloud solution, cloud architect and project managers. Who will be informed? Azure admin, security engineers, DevOps engineer and application owners. So the network designing will be responsible, it will be handled by the network engineering team. They will be responsible designing the network design and they will be accountable. Activity number 6, network security, energy, firewall, private endpoints. Who will implement the network security? That is security engineers. So security engineers will be responsible for implementing the network security and he will be accountable. Who will be consulted? Cloud solution architect, Azure admin will be consulted and network engineer also responsible for implementing the network security policy. So who will be responsible? Security engineers and network engineers should be responsible for implementing the network security. Who will be accountable? Security engineer will be accountable. Who is consulted? Cloud architect and Azure admin. Who will be informed? DevOps engineers, project manager, application owner should be informed. Activity number 7, Azure policy and governance. So who will be responsible for Azure policy and governance? Security engineers. Security engineers will be responsible for implementing the Azure policy and governance. Who will be accountable? Cloud architect will be accountable. Who is consulted? Azure admin will be consulted. Network engineer will be consulted. And project manager will be consulted. Who are informed? DevOps engineer and application owners. So if you look at the task number 8, security hardening and compliance, who will be responsible? Who is going to implement it? Security engineers. Security engineer will be going to implement it and he will be accountable for security hardening and compliance. Who will be consulted? Cloud architect, Azure admin, network engineer will be consulted. Who will be informed? DevOps engineers, project managers and application owners will be informed. Activity number 9, resource deployment. Deploying the VMs, deploying the storage, deploying the app services, deploying the databases. Who will be responsible? Azure admin will be responsible. Who will be consulted? Cloud architect should be consulted. Security engineer will be consulted and DevOps engineer must be consulted. For this resource deployment, who will be informed? Network engineer should be informed. Project manager should be informed. Application owner should be informed. Activity number DevOps CI/CD pipeline. See here, these are all the activities, tasks in a large scale cloud project. For deploying, for the implementing DevOps CI/CD pipeline, who will be responsible? DevOps engineer will be responsible and he will be accountable. Who should be consulted? Azure admin should be consulted and project manager should be consulted and application owner should be consulted. Who will be informed? Cloud architect should be informed and security engineer should be informed and network engineer should be informed. Monitoring, observability, log analytics and alerts. So who will be responsible for this kind of monitoring and observability? Azure admin should be responsible for implementing the monitoring and observability. Who is accountable? DevOps engineer should be accountable. Who should be consulted? Cloud architect should be consulted and security engineer should be consulted. Who will be informed? Network engineer should be informed. Project manager should be informed. Application owner should be informed. Activity number 12, backup and DR, Azure backup and ASR. Who will be responsible? Azure admin should be responsible for implementing the backup and DR. He is accountable. Azure admin should be accountable. Who should be consulted? Cloud architect should be consulted. Security engineer should be consulted. Who will be informed? Network engineer, DevOps engineer, project manager, application should be informed. Task number 13, testing UAT and validation. Who is responsible? Azure admin should be responsible, and also application owner also responsible. Who will be accountable? Accountable are application owners and project managers. Who will be consulted? Cloud, cloud architect and security engineers and network engineers. Task number 14th, go live and cut over. Who will be responsible? Azure admin should be responsible. Who is accountable? DevOps engineer and project manager. Who will be consulted? Cloud architect, security engineers, network engineers. Who will be informed? Application owners. The 15th task is documentation and handover. Who will be handling this? Who is responsible? Azure admin should be responsible, and also project manager also responsible for the documentation and handover. Who is accountable? Azure admin should be accountable. Who is consulted? Cloud architect should be consulted. Security engineer should be consulted. Network engineer should be consulted. DevOps engineer should be consulted. Application owner should be informed. The last activity, post to go live support. Who is responsible? Azure admin going to support the live environment. Azure admin going to support the Azure cloud infrastructure support. He is accountable. So whatever happening in the Azure cloud infrastructure, Azure admin should be the responsible. He should be responsible for all the activities. He should be accountable. Who should be consulted? Security engineer should be consulted. Network engineer should be consulted. DevOps engineer should be consulted. Who is informed? Cloud architect should be informed. Project manager should be informed. Application owner should be informed. So here in this RASI matrix, it is clearly defined the roles and responsibility for each and every stakeholders. It defines the roles and responsibility for cloud architect. It defines the roles and responsibility to Azure admin. It clearly defines the roles and responsibility to security engineers, network engineers, DevOps engineers, project manager, and application owners. So with the help of this RASI matrix, it clearly define cloud architect on the architecture, landing zone, and governance. Azure administrator responsible for deployment, operation, resource configuration. Security engineers control the identities, policies, and compliance. Network engineers own the connectivity and production and designing the network. DevOps engineers responsible for automate the deployment, automate the pipelines and build release. Project manager will be responsible for driving scheduling, communication, and delivery. Application owner is responsible for providing functional requirement and validation. So with the help of RASI matrix, we can clearly define the all the tasks, activities, roles. It will provide a clear cut picture. So when we schedule a project update meeting, so everyone know their roles and responsibility. So they will provide the updates or feedbacks during the project update meeting. Thank you friends. We will connect in another class.